pops of lightning here and there later on into the hours, but definitely within the next 10 to 20 minutes, we are expecting an intense thunderstorm.
Yeah, the worst of it's going to be between right about now till about 4:30 in the metro. So whether you're in New Albany, Louisville, down into Bullitt County, the next 30 minutes is the main show.
That's right. So we just wanted to give everybody a quick update before we expect these storms to arrive in. We're going to have a full breakdown about these storms, including the extended forecast, coming up here in our 4 p.m. newscast. Stay tuned with us. Continuing to track showers as they make their way closer into the Louisville metro, along with some strong thunderstorms. We've got all those details coming up here. You'll notice that dark cloud making its way into the city. We are expecting some intense rain, strong winds, and lots of lightning as we head into the next minutes. Those details are coming up.
We're used to seeing about 100,000 strong, but how about locals making a resurgence here at Churchill Downs this year? We'll have the story coming right up here at 4.
Plus, Louisville's ATF leads a federal agency shutdown of a guns for drugs trafficking scheme. We'll tell you where those guns were headed. WHAS11 News at 4 starts now. And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at 4 for WHS 11 News. As you've heard, we have a thunderstorm warning in our area. We're going to go right over to Matt Breland. Matt, this is not a great thing for Churchill Downs, as we know they have a shelter in place right now going on.
That's right, yeah. Shelter in place is now currently in effect for Churchill Downs, and that's because we do have this severe thunderstorm that's continuing to make its way closer and closer into the city. We're expecting this to arrive just as we head into the next 10 minutes. So notice on our sky cam here, these dark clouds. This is that shelf cloud that typically forms whenever we see these types of thunderstorms quickly advancing further towards the east. So these will be arriving very soon. We've got winds that are staying out of the west at 11 miles per hour. Currently, our winds are gusting, you notice that we're seeing as the storm makes its way closer towards us. We're still waiting on some of that data to come in, but we've been getting reports of some of these winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour at times. So this is definitely going to be an intense thunderstorm as it makes its way closer into the Louisville metro. Giving you an idea of how things are looking right now, we are just a few moments away from hearing a lot of thunder, seeing those intense wind gusts, and also some possible small hail will be associated with this too. So a lot of lightning and definitely some heavy rainfall. So you'll notice that the storm is continuing to move fairly quickly though. This is a fast moving setup. As soon as it arrives here, it's going to be lasting for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then it'll be racing its way further towards the northeast. So I would say you folks near Newcastle and Madison, you guys are next for the thunderstorm as we head further on into these next upcoming minutes. But for now, across the Louisville metro, I'll step off to the screen so I can give you guys a better look. You'll notice that this activity is still making its way into the metro, and we're going to continue to keep you updated. The severe thunderstorm warning is in place until 4:15 p.m. for all of our major counties, Meade County, Hardin County, Jefferson County. We're all about to see this storm make its way through. Lots of lightning, heavy rain, and some strong winds associated with this.
All right, thank you so much, Matt. And now we want to go out to Churchill Downs. Of course, the Phillies will race for the Lilies in Kentucky Oaks 151. That post time is at 5:51. But right now, our Isaiah, Kim Martinez, and photojournalist Jessica Farley are live at Churchill Downs. So, Isaiah, are folks taking the shelter-in-place warning seriously out there right now? What's happening?
Connie, they are. We've seen lightning, we've heard thunder, the rain is falling. This is what we're looking at here. People are heeding those warnings. We've seen folks with ponchos. You see this woman right here to my left of course, taking cover. We just saw, if you take a look at the board up here, it's the first time we've seen this today. Severe weather approaching, basically telling folks to seek shelter and follow directions of venue staff. This comes as we just heard a race go off right now. We're starting to feel that wind come in. We're going to go ahead and take shelter here in a little bit. But folks are moving, and this is the storms that we were afraid would be impacting Oaks right now. Earlier, watch this story. We're going to go ahead and get out of the way.
Phillies, Lilies, a day for the women at Churchill Downs.
Where are you guys from?
Louisville. We're locals.
She's a Louisville gal.
But Oaks Day, not as much a day for the locals anymore.
She's got some splaining to do, let me tell you right now.
Or so we thought.
This is my 29th Derby, so each year I'm like, okay, I gotta do next level or a different theme, different color combo, just something fun and fresh.
Carrie and Jeff Ketterman live in Corydon, Indiana.
I love Louisville, man.
And went with an I Love Lucy theme this year.
Ooh.
These were the views from the paddock.
You have money on any of these?
Yeah, so I've got 3, 4, 7 tri-box.
And over by the track,
It's not looking great right now, but that's okay. It's a long day.
Trey Moser lives in Louisville half the year.
Where's 4? Where's 4? Come on, 4!
Loving every second at a racetrack where love started for some.
Louisville will always have a special place in your heart.
Oh, absolutely. It was the most amazing experience you can imagine.
Lisa Bonner and her husband Ted, who went to KCD and U of L, had their first date here at Churchill Downs in 1994.
It's something special that you can't recreate, so you have to come. It's amazing.
Placing their bets together is more than a tradition.
Nitrogen, 8-5 favorite.
It's a forever connection linked to the Derby City in between the Twin Spires.
There it is. Bingo.
And that was our Isaiah Kim Martinez. He is now sheltering in place out at Churchill Downs. So we want to go back to Matt Breland and John Gordon to keep us in touch with this storm until it goes over the area. Guys?
Thank you, Connie. Yeah, once again, we still have this intense thunderstorm making its way closer and closer. We're just a few moments away from it making its way into Churchill Downs. You can see it on the screen there. We're pulling up radar data for you to take a look. Those first initial showers are now starting to make their way into Churchill Downs. And we also want to bring attention the winds here. So me and meteorologist John Gordon are keeping you ahead of this storm, but definitely picking up on some 60-mile-per-hour winds there, John.
Absolutely. So go west of Churchill Downs and you see the area around 31W, Hazelwood. There's a big surge of wind pushing in from the southwest to the northeast. Areas all along 264, along the Watterson. It just went through Pleasure Ridge Park. Big lightning surge. See that big lightning jump just south of Churchill Downs right now? That's where that surge of wind is. It's just the worst of it is out by the Louisville airport right now at Muhammad Ali International. You're seeing a big surge of wind and lightning, and there's going to be very heavy rain moving into Churchill in the next few minutes.
Definitely. So once again, like shelter in place is issued there at Churchill, and this storm is moving very quickly. Definitely within the next 10 minutes, it's going to be impacting those regions, Churchill Downs. But yeah, 60-mile-per-hour winds, that's definitely a strong gust that can certainly cause some impacts around there.
Looking at the last couple scans, it looks like the worst wind is barely south of Churchill Downs towards the airport. That's good news for them. Doesn't mean you're out of the woods. There's a lot of lightning moving in. The reflectivity shows a bowing segment, which means a lot of wind pushing from the west-southwest to the north-northeast, and very heavy rain and lightning. Folks in the Churchill Downs, hope you're heeding, hope you're listening to the warnings and finding a safe shelter. Some of those tents may not be the best place to be right now.
That's right. And if you had plans to head out to Churchill Downs within the next 10 minutes, just hold off for a while. We're going to ride this storm out. Definitely everything is going to be on a delay from here until the rest of the evening. And you'll notice as we zoom out how intense the storms are getting.
Yeah, look what's coming to the southwest. There were two surges of this. If you don't believe it's coming, look down there just southwest of Iroquois Park, down to PRP and Valley Station. It's all moving off to the northeast. Intense, very heavy rain, wind. I don't think the hail problem is that bad right now. Lightning, wind, and heavy rain there, Matt.
Absolutely, yeah. The rainfall, it's going to be very dramatic, heavy downpours, especially as they arrive. And you'll notice behind this, though, as we go further out, you'll notice behind that we do have a dry patch.
Yes.
This is going to be a quick-moving storm, and as soon as it gets here, it's going to be out of here, too. It's moving at about 35 miles per hour, so taking getting another glimpse at Churchill Downs. So you guys are starting to see those first initial showers right now, but you'll notice minute by minute, the rain is going to get heavier and the winds are going to get stronger too.
Absolutely. So there's going to be a break. This is about a 30-minute inconvenience. Folks there at the Churchill Downs right now, there'll be a big break. And there's stuff out to the southwest. I don't think that will be your big problem. You may get a little rain in a couple hours, but this is the main show right now. The worst winds are just south of Churchill Downs. Looks like winds near the airport are probably 50 to 60 miles an hour. Up by Churchill Downs, it looks like between 40 and 50 miles per hour. And that lightning just really bothers me. It looks like most of it is south of Churchill Downs, but it's very close. Please seek shelter if you're there at the track. Please seek shelter.
Right, absolutely. And so once again, just make sure that you are indoors. If you can get as far indoors as possible, that's great. And we're just going to ride this storm out. As I mentioned, it's a quick moving storm. We're still waiting on the most dramatic of the rainfall and the strong winds to arrive too, but they're just towards the south. So it's getting closer and closer. So here's, we can draw out the line right here too. So if we shape it up, you'll notice it getting into Churchill Downs very quickly within the next 10 minutes.
Yes, there's been 2 waves of this. The next intense wave is in about 8 to 10 minutes. The entire metro is under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's not just Churchill Downs. If you're in New Albany and Sellersburg, over in the Floyd Knobs, all the way down into Bullitt County, Shepherdsville, they just put a special weather statement further off to the east. Prospects under a warning, Charlestown. But at Churchill Downs, a very intense band of rain. You got 8 minutes. 8 minutes, the big band's coming. If you don't have a poncho, you're going to wish you did.
Yeah.
It's fixing to rain really hard.
Yes, it's going to be very intense, heavy rainfall. And once again, they've got this warning in place for Bullitt and Jefferson County until 4:15 p.m. And Isaiah gave us a good glimpse. It looks like people are able to shelter in place, at least the ones that were closer to near the paddocks. And so they've been prepared for this. They knew that this was a possible event. We've been monitoring the forecast steadily, and they knew that this was a possibility for today, and we're just continuing to advise that shelter in place is taken seriously.
The folks at Churchill Downs are doing tabletop exercises. They pay off because here it is. This is the real deal. They've executed their severe weather plan. Folks there, just take shelter. If you're driving at rush hour and you're on the Watterson or you're on 65, it's going to become unpleasant. Visibilities, hydroplaning, please slow down. The visibility will be down less than a quarter mile very, very soon, all along the Watterson westbound and all south into 65 going into Bullitt County.
Yeah, if you're just south of the Watterson near Highland Park, Iroquois Park, you are starting to really see the intensity of the storm now. It's really knocking on the door there. If you're closer towards the Louisville International Airport, that's where a lot of that activity is focused as well. And it's getting closer and closer to Churchill Downs. And once again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning continuing until 4:15 p.m. And the storm the structure of it is still indicating that there's a decent amount of strength in there. The winds are still looking strong with it too as it continues to make its way closer into the metro.
Yeah, we were 78 degrees there at the top of the hour. They're going to drop about 10 degrees when this comes through at Churchill Downs. Believe it or not, you're going to lose about 10 degrees. The winds at the airport, I'm just trying to get a new update on the winds. Looks like to me on the radar you would see winds between 50, 60 miles an hour at the airport. Churchill Downs looks like 35 to 45 right now.
Right.
And very heavy rain. If you go back to the reflectivity, look at that heavy rain that's coming. Go back a little back to the southwest.
Yes, so all those red colors, that means we are tracking some very heavy rainfall. As a matter of fact, I can get some rainfall rates here for us. Rainfall rates with this severe thunderstorm warning definitely up to, let's see what the latest data is loading up for us here.
He's pulling that up right now. Very intense rainfall rates. Visibilities, if you're driving at rush hour, is not pretty out there.
Yeah, definitely. If you're trying to hit the road sometime in the next few moments, it is not going to be an easy drive.
No. It's very heavy rain moving into Churchill Downs. Zoom back into Churchill Downs. That big blob of red at Iroquois Park is coming your way. If you're at Iroquois Park, that is heading to Churchill Downs. A direct impact on Churchill Downs. You've got about 7 minutes for the heaviest rain to get into Churchill Downs. is that whole area goes from the southwest off to the northeast. You think, well, these weather people, no, it's coming. It really is coming.
Yeah, it is on its way.
We're trying to help protect you at Churchill Downs on the Kentucky Oaks. The Kentucky Oaks will happen. It will just be delayed today.
Right. We will have a few moments of a delay with this, but also, you know, U of L is right next to Churchill Downs as well, along with the Louisville Metro. I know a lot of people have outdoor derby parties around this time of the year, so move that inside, wait for this to pass by. Once again, this is in place until 4:15, but I wouldn't be surprised if they extend this warning out a bit further for the next few minutes.
They've got 2 minutes to do something. They've got to make a tactical move. They're probably going to move it off to the east here. They just put a new severe. The new severe just came out. That covers the eastern part of Jefferson County, so St. Matthews, Indian Hills, Plainview, Douglas Hills, Middletown, Otter Creek, Anchorage, Fern Creek, Highview.
Simpsonville even.
Simpsonville goes into the western part of Shelby County. There you go.
Yeah, they have put all of Jefferson County and even portions of Shelby County in place for the severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45 p.m. So Oldham County, Spencer County, Shelby County, Jefferson County, Bullitt County, you folks need to be indoors as this storm continues to make its way through.
And there's some indications of hail on the eastern side of this mess. That's out towards J-Town. If you're in J-Town, I wouldn't be surprised you get some hail close to 1 inch in diameter. Then you go off towards Taylorsville, just on the north side of Taylorsville, on the east-southeast side going to Simpsonville. Wouldn't be surprised to see some quarter-size hail. Go back to Churchill Downs there again, Matt. This whole thing's moving from the southwest, so if you're at Iroquois Park at the amphitheater, it's coming. It's coming from the west-southwest to the north-northeast. It will be Churchill. Look how close that is.
Yeah, it is right parked over
moments.
soon.
The deluge is coming. The monsoon at Churchill Downs is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, many years Connie and I used to talk about the soaks. This is the monsoon on the Oaks. It's coming.
Yeah.
Please be prepared. If you don't have a poncho, get as close inside. You're about to be doused.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be several rounds of intense rainfall, and those winds are picking up as we speak outside there. Winds gusting close to, between, last time we checked, it was at 40 miles per hour.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're starting to see a little bit more.
Yeah, the radar's really showing all across the center part of Jefferson County winds between 40 and 50 miles an hour. There's some 60 indications here in Buchel. Over towards Seneca Gardens, St. Regis, Meadowview Estates, Houston Acres over there by Hurstbourne and Taylorsville Road, Hurstbourne Acres. Right now at Churchill Downs, looks like winds are between 40 and 50 miles an hour, but the wind is a problem, but the heavy rain and lightning is coming. Look at that blob of red going to Churchill Downs.
It is just towards the south, making its way across the Waterston now, and you'll notice people in their ponchos. I would say it's going to be some low visibility as soon as we go into the next upcoming minutes as this gets closer and closer. This big blob of red that you see on the screen on our Max HD radar, it is getting closer and closer to Churchill Downs as it makes its way closer into the Louisville Metro. So right now, Audubon Park.
They said it's the fastest 2 minutes. Here's the fastest 2 minutes. The rain will be there in 2 minutes. Okay?
That's right.
Okay, this is the Secretariat rain. It's coming. Okay. Believe it or not, if you're in Jacobs Addition down towards the Waterston, that area will be in Churchill Downs within 2 minutes. Very heavy rain, winds between 40 and 60 miles an hour, and some lightning in the area.
Precipitation rates with this are at 1.16 inches per hour, and that is some heavy rainfall.
That's the monsoon at the Oaks.
That's right. So anytime you see an inch of rain per hour, that is that heavy rainfall that really makes an impact. So as we mentioned, this is a severe thunderstorm warning now in place until 4:45 p.m., including our major counties, Bullitt County, Jefferson, Oldham, Shelby County. If you're in any of those counties, make sure you're staying indoors and riding this storm out as it continues to make its way through. And if you know anybody that's at Churchill Downs, make sure that they're sheltering in place and just staying inside, because there's lightning associated with this, and lightning is definitely a dangerous element whenever it comes to these types of thunderstorms.
So Churchill Downs' big threat right now is the very heavy rain and lightning. Looks like the 60-mile-an-hour winds have pushed more to the northeast. Buchel, St. Regis, over there towards Plainview and Linden, east of St. Matthews. The radar's showing up to 60-mile-an-hour winds towards Hurstbourne Acres on the Hurstbourne corridor on Taylorsville Road. Back to Churchill Downs, very heavy rain is coming any moment. Look at that. There's the red thing. The red line of death is moving in. Churchill Downs, a lot of heavy rain is moving in very, very shortly. extremely heavy rainfall rates, and some lightning. Please be prepared out there.
Right, and as John mentioned, the wind threat is going to be more towards our east. So you folks near Audubon Park, that is where we're expecting some of those winds that could be gusting up to 60 miles per hour within the storm. But that heavy rainfall starting to make its way closer and closer into Churchill Downs as this storm continues to track its way further towards our northeast, moving at about 35 miles per hour. And as we mentioned, that severe thunderstorm warning is in place for our major counties, Jefferson, Bullitt, Oldham, Spencer County, until 4:45 p.m. So we still have about 20 minutes left of this storm as it continues to make its way through.
They took the warning. They dropped the western part of Louisville. So if you're west of Churchill Downs, it's just going to rain. The wind problem is no longer a threat. But if you are basically Churchill Downs east, you're still under the very heavy rain, the wind and lightning. The worst wind right now is where that surge of lightning is there, Matt, between Hurstbourne and Taylorsville along 64. I'm sure the traffic is not pretty on a Friday in Oak, so it's not a pretty sight. But very heavy rain moving into Churchill Downs right now.
That's right. So once again, heavy rainfall, and most of the wind threat is now more further towards our east. You'll notice the majority of the intensity of the storm is now focused more towards Seneca Gardens, St. Regis Park, and the St. Matthews region. So you guys are still included in that severe thunderstorm warning as well at 4:45 p.m.
Yeah, so the worst of the wind is right in the J-Town and Middletown area. So if you're in J-Town, you're in Middletown, you're in Buchel, you're on the east side of St. Matthews, all along the Watterson, approaching 64. That's where the wind looks like 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts right now. Churchill Downs, the heavy rain's there right now. You've got about 10 minutes of it, and then you should get a break. There it is. The red line has hit Churchill Downs. It is pouring at Churchill Downs right now. I bet you all out there can verify that. You've got about 10 minutes of this, and then we go to light to moderate.
That's right. And as we mentioned earlier, they did trim that severe thunderstorm warning down a bit. So I would say the wind threat for Churchill Downs has went down completely. This is going to just be soaks, as you guys have been calling it. It's going to be...
This is soaks version 2 for Connie.
Exactly. So yeah. This is a heavy rain pattern that's going to be making its way there. You'll notice we've got a live picture right now of the track. The weather delay still in place, but notice the dramatic change in the skies. It's not the sunny skies that I saw earlier today during the noon o'clock show. So definitely we've got the cloudy skies moving in and that heavy rainfall. Latest track shows about ½ an inch per hour. That's still some decently heavy rainfall. That's definitely enough to cause some ponding around the roadways there. Right. So reminder just to still shelter in place. We're going to ride the storm out for at least the next 10 minutes as it continues to make its way out. But just wanted to reiterate, folks near St. Matthews, if you're in the St. Matthews area, you're definitely seeing a lot of these strong winds, and also the heavy rainfall is making their way towards that direction as well. Near Clifton's, St. Matthews, Middletown, you folks are in with seeing this intense storm as it continues to make its way through.
Yeah, the last two scans on the radar, if you're on Shelbyville Road, it's not pretty. Between Middletown, the Gene Snyder going in there towards J-Town, right on the border there, near the Snyder. Middletown area, Snyder looks like about 60-mile-an-hour winds. Lake Forest, you're getting hit right now with very heavy wind and rain. Churchill Downs, good news. The heavy rain, you got about 5 more minutes of it. And then it will be light to moderate for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then some light rain for 20 minutes. And then there's a big break. Show the big break out to the southwest for those folks.
Big break towards the south. So look at here, like past this storm system, we've got quiet conditions for a while. There is a secondary storm that we're keeping a close eye on further just outside of Paducah that occurred just a few moments ago. This is going to be arriving later on, but it is not going to be nearly as intense. The storms that we're seeing now are about what me and John are expecting to be as intense as our weather pattern will be today.
Right.
Followed behind this is going to be some secondary rain showers, but it's really trending to just be a rainy pattern as we go later on into the evening time, closer towards that 7 p.m. hour.
If you're at Churchill Downs, you may have to get your ponchos out yet a second time, but it won't be that bad. Right now, the problem is this heavy wind and rain in the metro right now. Linden, Middletown, Shelbyville Road. Big surge of wind approaching Anchorage there and the east side of Middletown, up there towards the northeastern part of Jefferson County. Big surge of wind and heavy rain all along Shelbyville Road. Churchill Downs, the weather is slowly improving. We hit it hard. You saw it come through. You're probably in the moderate rain right now in Churchill Downs. The lightning threat is pushing off to the northeast. Right now, you're just getting wet. There is good news ahead. I'm sure in the near future, they'll be lifting that weather delay, and the racing will continue. The Oaks probably will be delayed. It won't be at 5:57 today.
That's correct. So once again, Churchill Downs is no longer included in that severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like that they did let that expire just shortly after 4:15 p.m. as they said they would. But now if you're in between the suburbs of I-71 and I-64, if you're in St. Matthews, Middletown, and LaGrange, you guys are next in line for this intense thunderstorm as it continues to make its way through Jefferson County. So that's going to last until 4:45 p.m. Jefferson, Oldham, Shelby County. You guys are in for the next severe thunderstorm. But as we mentioned, behind this, we do have a quiet trend that we're going to have for the remainder of the next upcoming hours. And then we're going to see that secondary line of just some rain showers. As we mentioned, that's just towards the south of Evansville now. That's going to be making its way into the Louisville Metro later on into our evening. But that is a quick update on this. We wanted to carry you out through this storm system as it continues to make its way through the Louisville Metro. Once again, near St. Matthews, Jefferson, Oldham, Shelby County, you guys are going to experience those heavy downpours and some intense wind for at least the next 20 minutes, and then we'll be back into just some lingering light rain showers. So that's your weather update for now. We're going to get it back over to Connie over at the desk to continue our 4 p.m. newscast.
All right, guys, thank you so much for that update and keeping us up to date on what was happening. Now, we want to go back out to Churchill Downs. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez has been out there all day. And Isaiah, take us through what happened just now as you had that heavy rain, lightning, strong winds out at the track.
Well, Connie, it was really pouring for a minute. It's let up some, but very much still raining. The wind's not too bad. Take a look behind me. You can actually see our photojournalist Jessica Farley. If you want to pan to the left and just show all those people with their ponchos on. We really saw the state of panic in the last 20 minutes where you saw people running in different directions. We saw trash cans falling over. We heard glass breaking from some of those food tents. We actually talked with a vendor who said that she knew that the tent is not the place to be, so she got out of there. And if you walk with me, I'll show you. We're right here by the Paddock Bar. And this stairwell here is actually where I've talked with some folks. A lot of folks here, as you can see, basically taking cover, trying to shelter the best way they can to ride out this wave of weather here. We know that the severe weather or severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, is extended until at least 4:45, and we'll have to see from there. But again, this is a situation where we knew rain was coming. It was more a matter of when, and of course, that time is now, and the call to post for Oaks hasn't even gotten here yet. You can see folks are just soaked. More folks over here, people on this side, headed to the gate. We actually did hear from the PA that they do intend to resume racing once this is all passed. I think the question becomes, though, how many people are going to stick around and wait for that? I think that's ultimately what we're going to have to wait and see. But again, another shot of the folks here with their ponchos on, basically trying to be as safe of a spot as they can. One more shot of them here. And we'll hear a lot more from them here coming up in our later shows. And I believe we have Sarandon Raboyne and our chief photojournalist, Philip Murrow, who are closer to the track. But Connie, for now, we're going to send it back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Isaiah. You're right. We want to go over to Sarandon right now. Sarandon, we saw on Isaiah's camera, the live camera, folks running for shelter. What was it like where you were?
The track, and we were getting ready for our live shot. They were just running the 8 Bells race. That's the 9th race of the race day card, when all of the sudden the wind and the rain came so fast. We had seen some dark clouds earlier in the day ominously on the horizon, but when they put out that weather delay to seek shelter, the wind and the rain came within minutes. We had to take cover within minutes of just the rain and the wind starting, because the track was getting blown up and covering people, and it was getting in your eyes and your mouths, and so it was really, really sudden. And then you saw how hard the rain was coming down. You saw from our shot throughout Matt and John's forecast, and they were spot on when they were saying it was raining really hard and the wind was blowing. It was exactly how we saw it here on the track. Now, Isaiah said it earlier, they do plan to resume racing once the weather clears a little bit. That's going to be the Twin Spires Turf race. That's the 10th race on the race card. The Kentucky Oaks is the 11th race, so there's only one more race to go before the race for the Lilies, but it is definitely a wet track and a wet race course right now.
Thank you so much. Certainly a bit of a scare. Just take care out there. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.